Hi guys, it's Joe again from the Phantasmal team. I've been doing some testing today and I thought, you know what, why don't I actually record a new session and just show you guys some of the new features that we have. So one of the cool things that we've done recently is we put together a tutorial level. So I know we probably haven't actually explained all of the rules to some of the newcomers to the game. I mean, to some of the guys who've been with us since the beginning of this journey, we've explained some of how the mechanics work. But for anyone who new has come along, they probably haven't quite been able to pick up some of the base mechanics. So we thought we'd put together a little tutorial level, so it's not randomly generated. And when you walk over some of these hotspots, you'll get a message explaining a little bit about the game. So stuff that may not be immediately obvious, like generating ruckus when you're moving or when you're crouched, that you're not actually making any noise, so you're pretty much silent, through to other things like using melee weapons and holding fire to increase the power. So the longer you hold down fire, the greater the power there is, up to a maximum. So yeah, there are a lot of things that we were watching, some YouTubers and some people who were playing at PAX and at our demo days. We would realise that we probably hadn't necessarily explained some of the rules. So, or not the rules, but the actual gameplay mechanics. So the tutorial level is here to basically put it all out in the open. So this next bit here shows you that if you stare at a creature for too long and you've got your flashlight on, you'll start going crazy. There's something about the health, and also one thing that people may not necessarily know yet is the fact that you can actually turn on a light and your sanity will come back as well to a certain point. And this bit here that I mentioned last time was that you can actually cycle through your weapons by pressing the tab key. You'll notice that on the top right there, the items will cycle through to flares, which you probably all know about now, through to incense, which will completely eliminate ruckus, through to a pipe bomb, which will basically kill a whole bunch of creatures in a certain radius. It's also quite powerful, so you've got to watch out, make sure you don't get killed in the process. Yeah. Oh, and also, yeah, of course, flares, you can throw these to attract some creatures, and you can see down there's a couple of example creatures that get attracted by these flares, which you can do in the main game. So that is the tutorial level. With the main game as well, there's been a whole bunch of changes. So we were looking to basically be feature complete by the beginning of this month, but of course with game development or software development in general, there were a whole bunch of other stuff we realized as we fixed that we needed to correct some downstream functionality as well that was affected. So it's taking a little bit longer than expected. But the good news is I think we're getting quite close now. So the good thing is some of the behind the scenes stuff. The store, I think a few people had some issues with that, and that was tied back to Steam stats. A lot of that is now basically fixed. So we've been doing a lot of in-house testing around buying upgrades and things like that, and making sure they were still persistent, that the money wasn't lost. Yeah, so of course we'll still need a good round of user testing to check between different PCs and hardware configurations and stuff. But in-house, that's been looking pretty good so far. Another major change has been around a significant upgrade to the AI director as well. So there was one report that creatures would be popping up in front of users. That shouldn't be happening anymore, so that's been upgraded and improved a lot. So especially with the stuff popping up right in front of you, shouldn't really happen at all anymore. Plus there was also a little bit of I guess lag when the creatures popped up all at once, so that's kind of been kind of normalized a little bit more as well. So hopefully that'll improve. A lot of little graphical type fixes Brian has been actually going through and just making lots of little improvements, like the lantern there having a rigid physics body associated with it now. So that's kind of cool, putting a lot more clutter around the place. It's also cool. Oh, and you may have noticed at the top there in that top left map, now, rather than it showing up everything immediately, you actually only get to see the places you've explored before. So I think that was actually taking away a little bit of that horror element. So now it's definitely a lot more tense, not be able to see absolutely everything right from the get-go. And you can basically see it incrementally builds up the map to only the places you've explored before. So let me go through here. What else we got? Okay, so a little number of bugs and things have been fixed up. The animation for the gun, or actually the actual entire model for this gun is now, for the main starting pistol, has now completely been overhauled. So you may have noticed the previous set of hands that were holding it were pretty low quality. This one's been overhauled with a new model, so it's actually looking really good now. Another cool thing is the creatures all have some variations. So you'll notice there's the default brown ones here, but as you go further on the level, you'll see a lot more variety. So it won't just be the same old creature over and over again. You'll actually see more variety, and over time, as well as visually, you'll see some changes within the actual creatures themselves in terms of their characteristics and things like that. Oh, the other thing too is that rather than having that note on a pedestal that you saw before, now on level load you'll see the progression of the story, and the notes will show up there. So once that's finished, you can go close journal and carry on with the rest of the game. What else have we got? Oh, one of the really annoying problems that we had before was when you killed a creature, the ragdoll wouldn't always show up, so it would almost be like the creature would just disappear. So now that's totally fixed. We found out what the problem is, and you are 100% guaranteed to come up to have a ragdoll every time you kill a creature, so I thought that was really great too. Oh, okay, so let's go home. Yep, there's his old ragdoll, drops down. And aside from that, a whole bunch of small... Oops. Go home. Where'd he go? Whole bunch of little bug fixes and changes as well. A lot of improvements around the journal. The game itself will be... you can actually complete it now. So there was an actual end level before, but now there's actually a temple level at the end, which fits in with the rest of the story as well. And you can actually progress that, and once you finish that, there will be several more threads to the story, which you can also complete. So that's another thing that'll be in the upcoming release. So that's pretty much it. Oh, okay, sorry, there's another thing. This is a little thing as well, but when you drop... Let me just turn that volume down a tiny bit. When you drop your weapons in the past, like for example this plank, if you throw it on the ground it would just break in two, but now it actually retains the damage or the durability at the point that you throw it on the ground. And all the models now, for instance the pipe and the bat, you'll actually get the appropriate model rather than just blocks of wood falling on the ground as it was before. So that's kind of cool. So that's pretty much it. So thanks everyone for continuing to support us and to playing the game. I thought I'd do a bit of a shout out for some of the guys who've actually been really helpful for us as well. So we've had a few of the guys in the forum, for instance Will Wire, who actually made a suggestion around the minimap. Oh, I forgot to show you about that actually. With the minimap now, this is something that Will Wire gave us an idea about, and he said, hey look, I actually don't like the map. He didn't like the map, and he said it took away from the horror, so you can actually remove that now by clicking the show map button. So you can see there that that's gone away. The other person I really wanted to thank was Ben Bonser, who put together a lot of the art. If you go and look in the artwork tab in the discussion and the actual community page, you'll see a whole bunch of art. We've actually incorporated a lot of Ben Bonser's art into the game. We thought it was really good work. And so yeah, you'll see a lot of it. You'll see a lot of it in there as part of the notes and things in the upcoming build. Maestro as well for some fantastic screenshots that capture some of the really great parts of the game. And Fernando Ezra, who's been one of our longest running fans. Oh, you can see here there's a variation to that creature. Oh, and here's a blue starter. So that's another one of the things, is that well, you can see some variations now as well within some of the creatures that I mentioned before. Oh, go away. And of course, in terms of thanks, Fernando Ezra has been taking some really great screenshots for us. He's been doing that consistently for us for a while now. And so thank you, Fernando. And of course, I asked Brick for making a suggestion around a reset button to be able to reset all of your progress if you wanted to set it back to 0, for instance, all of your upgrades and things like that. So that's going to be coming up in the next build. And another thanks to Ryan James, the Hills of Jade, and Kerry for their input in a poll we ran recently about introducing a new battery mechanic. So thank you very much, and hopefully I haven't forgotten everyone, so thank you very much for everyone I may have forgotten, and everyone else for playing. And in the next couple of weeks we'll have another video update, probably a shorter one than this because I've covered just about everything, just wrapping up all of the changes that we have before we go full steam ahead into purely bug fixing and refinement. So thanks again everyone, and stay tuned for more good stuff. See you later.